everyone, my name's Jaime. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my car. This is the first video that I've filmed in quite some time, and I'm really excited about it because I just finished watching 13 Reasons Why last week and I loved it and I want to talk about it, and yeah, I want to talk about it, so here I am. And before we get too far into this, I do have to give a disclaimer that this video may be triggering to some and that you shouldn't watch it if that is the case. The show also is very hard to watch and has a lot of potential triggers in it, so I will leave a link to a full list with timestamps and stuff like that down below if you want to watch it, but you want to make sure that obviously you are safe. So yeah, that's my little disclaimer. To give you some background of where I'm coming from in terms of me as a person, I am studying communications and multimedia in school. So within my program, we definitely do, film studies, and we study and analyze and critique art, film, television. We've done it. So I come with a little bit of academic background with that. I also am personally affected by mental illness and mental health. So I also have, personal experience and yeah, when it comes to that sort of stuff. So that's my position in all of this, basically, is what I want to put out up front. Yeah, I think the show was amazing. I think it was really well done. I think to do a show with this kind of content and do it well is incredibly hard, and I think that the people behind the show did a really good job, and I definitely want to condemn them for that. It was very well done and that sort of stuff. So, very impressed, but that doesn't say that there aren't critiques with it, and I've seen and read a lot of critiques, and the sun is gonna be a time today, isn't it? I have seen and I've read a lot of critiques, and I think a lot of them are really valid, and yeah, really valid, and I just kind of want to talk about them and give my takes on some of them. So I think the number one critique that I see about the show is that it romanticizes and glamorizes mental illness and suicide. This I don't see, in my personal opinion. I really don't think the show did this. It didn't make me feel that way when I was watching. If it did to you, then that is valid and fine, but I really didn't get that. I think that the terms romanticize and glamorize kind of get thrown around a lot, and any article or anything that I've read that has said this, that has been shared within my circle, just gives a really shallow reading on the show. It just kind of, let's dismiss the whole show, let's not look at it because it romanticizes, and it just kind of shuts down any conversation. So whether or not that could be true, they don't really back it up with anything. So that's my little take. I think we sometimes get confused as a society of what really is romanticizing and what is glamorizing and what is just like beautiful and artistic. I don't think that those things are synonyms of themselves. Like, I don't no. I think that there can be something that is beautiful and artistic and be about something that is serious and horrible and intense, and have that not diminish those qualities. I think that the show 13 Reasons Why was beautifully done, and there was a lot of artistic moments that I really appreciated, and I don't think that made light of the issue at all. I don't think the show made light of suicide. It just didn't, and I think the effect that it's having on people kind of proves that. overall, I think we tend to, as a society, this is kind of getting a little bit off topic, but I think as a society, we tend to see art as less than in a lot of cases, and we pin it against things that are rooted in more scientific kind of things that have like a more scientific view, and we see art that is commenting on the same things as maybe the scientific thing is, and we see that as less than, like it's not as valuable, it's not as important, and I think that that is messed up and, you know, part of a bigger issue. But yeah, I think the show is beautifully done, but I don't think that that takes away from the seriousness of suicide. So I happen to disagree with that critique. Let me know what you think. A second critique that I saw that I don't have a firm stance on, and that was the whole idea that suicide is not revenge, and that people who are suicidal don't tend to be revengeful or cynical or, you know, out to hurt others. They tend to be a lot more apathetic and that sort of thing, which I agree with. I don't think there's any denying that. If you look at, you know, things like why can't I say it? Statistics. If you look at statistics and that sort of thing, you know, or just talking to someone who has been in that position or been in that circumstance, like that is generally the case. So I see that point, and that is totally a valid point to make. I didn't get the revenge aspect. I didn't feel that, but that I see how easily that could be read as what the tapes were meant to be. I personally didn't feel that. I personally felt as though they were Hannah's way of just like making sense for herself, and that to herself about what has happened and trying to make sense of what she's feeling. I think that that was kind of her way of doing that. And yeah, I don't think her wanting to share them, I don't know. We didn't really see, or maybe I missed it. Did she say her intent? Like, I just think she just wanted those people to know. And I think they kind of mentioned that in the scene where she's talking to Clay about her communications class, and how they said, you know, that she should, if someone hurts your feelings, you should tell them that they hurt your feelings. And I think that that's kind of where that stemmed from. So that was kind of my take on it. I didn't really see it as revenge. I didn't feel that when I was watching the show, but that is definitely a totally valid critique, and I can see that. The next one is something that I think, again, kind of results in people just seeing the show or looking at the show for like face value and not really like thinking about the show, and that is people who are upset at the lack of talk or mention of mental health and mental illness. And I think that they kind of alluded to this in maybe a subtle way. Maybe people didn't pick it up. I definitely picked it up. And just within the contrast of Clay's character and Hannah's character. Clay's parents, you know, definitely were more open to talk about mental health. They alluded to the fact that Clay had seen some sort of therapist, had been on some form of medication, and, you know, with his nightmares and stuff like that, his parents were definitely like, hey, if you want to talk to someone, you can, just say the word, bud, which was awesome. But they definitely had that aspect, and they also had Clay's parents have jobs that would able them to do that. Clay came from a upper middle class family, I guess, and, you know, he financially could see a therapist, and that wasn't a problem, that didn't hinder anything, whereas Hannah's parents were financially struggling the entire entirety of the show. And that, I think, is something that people missed a little bit. To see a therapist, a psychiatrist, a doctor, anywhere in regards to mental health, especially in the States, is hard to do. There is wait lists, it's expensive, it's hard to find someone in the profession that is good and helpful and does the right things for you. So I think that's what they kind of were trying to communicate. I think they were trying to communicate the difficulty it is to reach out for help, because I think that in the kind of global talk about mental health, we like to throw around the phrase, just go see help, like just seek out help, just get help, just tell someone, just do this, that, the other thing. And we fail to see a lot of the times that just getting help isn't easy, and it isn't practical for a lot of people, and it isn't accessible. And there's a million reasons why someone wouldn't be able to just ask for help. So I think that that's kind of where they were going with the show, and what I got by it, and I thought it was really well done and very honest and very representative of, what it's like to try and seek out help. That was my thing. My own personal critique was the character of Tony. I really am confused. Like, I liked him as an actor. I mean, hello, but I really didn't piece together his link and everything. Did I miss something? I also just found him kind of annoying. Like, he was always popping up, and I didn't really get it. I thought a lot of his scenes were very cheesy, and the whole rock climbing thing with Clay, I just thought that was really overly cheesy. I've just found his character to kind of... I thought he was the weakest character, basically, because of the fact that he was just... I don't know, he kind of ruined the believability of the show, I guess. I don't know. I didn't care for it. So moving on to a couple of key moments and scenes that I thought were really well done and that I just am a big fan of, was overall, besides Tony, I thought the show did a really good job of showing teenagers and showing what that's like. I thought it was a good representation of that. I didn't find it overly cheesy. I felt like there was like the right amount of swearing. I think that often gets like overlooked when shows like aren't allowed to swear or swear way too much that it's just unbelievable. I think they had a right amount of swearing, which I enjoyed. That was my take. I really, really loved the friendship between Jessica, Alex, and Hannah. I really liked that. The whole idea that like Jessica had, there was no problem that a hot chocolate can't solve. I loved that. I thought that was so cute and so like... I really liked that friendship, and I really liked the way that kind of unfolded, and the drifting in and out of friendships. I really liked that. I thought that was really just those scenes in the cafe, I loved those scenes. And then a couple more serious things. Obviously, I really enjoyed the character of Mr. Porter and the whole depiction of the school as an institution. I freaking loved it. I thought he was such a complex character that really showed his lack of ability, I guess, towards the end. And I just thought that was so real, like, there are so many people in positions like school counselors that are just not educated enough, not capable of being in those positions. And I just thought that they did such a good job of showing, like, even if the school has that resource, it doesn't mean it's a good one. And the school as an institution tends to cover up a lot of things and tends to, put out, suicide's not an option campaigns or don't drink and drive campaigns when they don't have anything to back that up. They don't have a counselor that's able to help students. They don't have resources. And I think that whole depiction of a school and seeking help was so well done and so accurate to so many students. I just thought, like, it was so good. And by so good, I mean it was really awful, but the fact that it was awful was really good. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I feel like you can be a fan of something because it's flawed. Like, it was flawed on purpose. Am I making any sense? Yeah, so I really liked that. So my camera is literally, like, overheating right now. So I just want to wrap this up by saying, finally, you can't talk about the show without talking about the ending, and I thought the ending was phenomenal, with Alex's assumed attempted suicide. I think that was the perfect ending to the show. I mean, I wasn't expecting it at all. I honestly thought it was Justin who shot himself, and then I thought it was, what is the camera guy's name? I thought it was him, and then I thought Justin shot Bryce, and I literally went through everyone who it could potentially be, and then it was Alex, and like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, well, fuck, no kidding. He's been showing all the signs this whole thing, and once you start to reflect on that, you're like, well, yeah, and we missed it because no one cared to change their actions. And I thought that was it was so good. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed the series. Obviously, take care of yourself when watching the series. If you choose to watch it, it is a lot, and do what's best for you. And yeah, please, I encourage you, if you do choose to watch the show, go through the trigger warnings that I'll have linked down below, and really think critically of the show, because I think a lot of the critiques could be resolved if you just thought a little bit deeper into it, And if anyone wants to talk about this even further, because I feel like I have given the show a very shallow surface level just within this video, so if you'd like to talk about it more, please message me. I would love to talk about it. You can message me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. All those will be linked down below. And take care of yourselves, please, and take care of others. Listen to others. Fuck. I'll see you in the next one.